as identified then from the requester to determine the likelihood of that, because by that time it is looked at as a potential risk. That analysis will be done then to determine the likelihood or the unlikelihood of that potential risk then to materialize. That is what, in short, in brief, the process is all about.
Thank you, General. And so what was the finding of this particular investigation, threat and risk assessment?
The finding of this whole investigation on the threat and risk assessment against the investigators on this case was found to be, the risk level was found to be high, which is the highest level of risk assessment.
And if I can just ask you to turn to page 162 of the annexures bundle. So that's SDK 16, 162. Is this the affidavit by the colonel who did the TRA?
That is correct, Commissioners. It happened that during a bail application of one of the accused, the need came for the threat and risk assessment that was done to be used or included then in the state case. But then, because the threat and risk assessment report itself, it's a classified document with all the details that would not want it to be made public, then the decision was taken that the Colonel Ntuli, who was doing the physical threat and risk assessment, submits the statement that confirms without details the threat and risk assessment that he conducted.
So when did he conclude his TRA? When was it signed?
The threat and risk assessment itself was concluded during August, and it was signed off on the 16th of August.
So when did he, the fact that this affidavit conclude his signed on the 17th of May 2025 is not a reflection of when the TRA was conducted, when was it signed? This was for the purposes of the bail application.
Yes, the threat and risk assessment itself was concluded was done way after during August, and it was signed off on the 16th of August. Opposition.
So when did he, the fact that this affidavit conclude his signed on the 17th of May 2025 is not a reflection of when the TRA was when was it signed for the purposes of the bail application? In your statement, and the witnesses have now testified, can we please go to paragraph 101 of your statement, because this is where you say, this is where you became involved. After the threat and risk assessment was concluded, you were approached for assistance. Can you explain that, please? Who approached you and when?
Thank you, Commissioners. As it's also part of our standard operation, our views and also for their concurrence and also those that are rating the risk at the highest level. So that is what happened in this case. My office was approached by the provincial head of crime intelligence in Gauteng with a view of briefing me and presenting this draft threat and risk assessment for my concurrence and my input.
And what type of input would you have provided?
After a thorough briefing and also going through the draft threat and risk assessment, there were lots of red flags that pointed towards being a very serious, different threat and risk assessment. In the threat and risk assessment, even from the request by the senior state prosecutor, there were reference made to the syndicate, knowing that the syndicate, to sustain its activities, it needs the strong support of the criminal justice system, which is then also inclusive of South African Police Service. So, looking at the request and looking at the draft report, then my office then was not comfortable with the recommendations that were included in that TRA. Hence, then the inputs that had to be included involves the registration of a counterintelligence investigation project.
Sorry to interrupt you, General. You described the TRA, or perhaps more the situation than the TRA, as open quote, different, close quote. What do you mean by that?
Thank you, Commissioner. The reference to different is most of the threat and risk assessment requests and investigations that will do, it will be mainly where the potential enemy, if I may put it in a layman's language, of that particular subject of investigation, it's someone that will have a plan to neutralize as soon as possible. So the use of unusual or different refers to the emphasis that was put from the request to the TRA itself, that was talking to of the involvement of a syndicate that has not yet been identified. That's why then we looked at it differently and we use it different as a weight.
And that was your call?
That was my call.
And so what did you recommend?
Then, as I've reflected, that I recommended that we register a counterintelligence investigation, which was going to focus mainly on the identification of the whole syndicate, because now to have countermeasures or protective measures that are directed towards Tau and those that are arrested already was not going to be effective according to my assessment. That is why then the decision to register the counterintelligence investigation to identify more of those that might be involved in the syndicate. In order to protect, as I reflected during my initial testimony, that a counterintelligence investigation is there to protect the operations of the South African Police Service. Now, the operations, they include both the operators or the operator as well as the activities. In this case, the investigation itself that it becomes a success.
So was it through those investigations that you were able to identify Mr. Molefe as the suspect?
That is very correct. It was through the counter-intelligence investigation. That was now, maybe before I get straight to the answer of the question by the senior counsel, let me explain the second most important recommendation that I had included in the initial draft TRA presented to me by the provincial head of crime intelligence, Gauteng. We also recommended that after the counterintelligence investigation is registered, because we registered it as a project, after it has been registered, it had to be meshed with the Gauteng organized crime investigation. That was as a result of that, the TRA was as a result of, because it was going to feed the investigation itself. That was the birth of now what we have been referring to in this commission as Gauteng Organized Crime Investigation, GCI Ops, which is the combination of both counterintelligence investigations and organized crime investigation of Gauteng.
Thank you, General. I'm sorry to interrupt your evidence, but Chair, it's come to my attention that some of the annexures and contents of the witness's statement is being projected in public. I wasn't aware because it doesn't come up on the screens in front of me at all. But as a result, information that should not be public is being made public. And may I ask that there's no projection unless I request it?
May we take an adjournment, a brief adjournment, and I would like for us to meet the people who do the projection outside immediately, please.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you,
Let's
Chair.
adjourn. Yes, Ms. Asib.
Thank you, Chair. General, so we left off, you were describing that it was at this point that you set up the GCI ops. So just to recap, and correct me if I'm wrong, that comprises the counterintelligence investigation together with the organized crime team and the investigations in Gauteng, yes. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct, Commissioners. And maybe to add that once the operation reaches that level, before the registration, because now it was the combination of both the counterintelligence investigations coordinated at the divisional level, which is national office, and the investigation was at a lower level, provincial office, the organized crime investigation. So when you are in that situation, that's when then before you marry the two, then you brief the national commissioner, because now he's the one also in charge of all provinces and divisions.
And it's at this point that you request for members of the PKTT to be seconded to this operation. Is that right?
That is correct, Commissioners. As I reminded the Commission that I was and still playing the dual role of both the project leader of PKTT as well as the Divisional Commissioner of Income Intelligence. So when then the GCI Ops was born, one of the shortcomings that we identified was firstly the approach itself. The investigation was following what I referred to, and I will still refer to it as traditional way of investigating, which is not suitable to investigate organized crime. So we had to then have a discussion with the provincial commissioner of where the PKTT is operating in the form of requesting the support. Because it was clear, because already some of the cartel members had been identified. Now, for that type of investigation, we needed to switch from the traditional way of investigation to the organized crime investigation, which I referred to as analysis-driven and prosecutorial-led investigation. Hence, then, beginning of November, we started those discussions and we agreed with the Provincial Commissioner KZN that we are going to request the analysts, all types of analysts.
Let me pause you just for a moment, General. When you say we had those discussions and we decided, who do you mean by we?
I'm referring to myself as the custodian of GCI Ops as well as the project leader of the PKTT with the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal where PKTT is based.
Okay, so you were discussing this with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi?
That is correct, Commissioners.
Okay, continue, I interrupted.
And then the first batch, or the batch of the experts that we had to assign to the GCI Ops from the PKTT were, as I've said, mainly experts. We had to get a ballistic expert because from the information gathered, it was clear that it will be another investigation support that the team will need. We also requested the digital forensic analyst who then was going to assist in the form of, because the organized crime, it involves lots of gadgets that we are using on our daily lives. We also needed the call data analyst specialist because of the communication that needed then to be analyzed and be used as evidence. We also had to request 3 times crime scene investigators. By that time, it was clear from the information collected that there are lots of other crime scenes that might be needed the team to zoom into. Hence, then the crime scene experts had to be 3, so as then they are able to cover all those identified crime scenes. And it also had a lot to do with the reconstruction, because they were not fresh crime scenes. So it needed experts then that can be able to do the backdating of crime scene management to try and create the picture as to what happened 2 years ago in this particular place. Hence, then we had to request 3 of them. We also had to request the operational analyst. The operational analyst is the one that is collecting all the reports from different analysts and put them together to paint one picture. So it's an overall analyst that must be able to read and interpret the digital forensic analyst report, the ballistic report, the call data report. So we needed that center of an analysis. We also realized that we need the overall commander. In the PKTT, we had developed suitable commanders that are able to understand all the different work that is done by experts. That's why we had to be specific, because in most cases in the police you'll find a commander who's a specialist in visible policing commanding or crime investigation commanding. But the capability that we had built in the PKTT was for the commander able to understand all that is expected to be done in a multidisciplinary. It must be a person who must be able to supervise the ballistic analyst, not by being an analyst, but by understanding what needs to be done. Hence, then we had to include in our list an operational commander. Also, the other aspect that we requested was the designated firearm officer. That talks to the characteristics of most of the syndicates, more specifically this cartel, as I referred to last time, that one of the common denominators is for the cartel members to specialize in private security, having companies that are dealing with private security in order to collect as much firearms as possible. So for that we needed an expert then in the firearm area, from the importation to registration to managing or controlling those firearms. And we also had to request an investigating officer who was going to join the 2 investigating officers that we had at the beginning. The purpose for that was twofold. was to assist them in the caseload, because the cases were increasing almost every day. But most importantly was to try and bring someone with the idea of the PKTT's method of operating to link with the two initial investigating officers, so as then we upgrade, maybe it's a wrong word to use, we upgrade them as quickly as possible to be at the level of the PKTT investigation. So hence then our request was for 10 of PKTT members. 10 is made up of those experts that I've explained.
Sorry, General, you said something I would like to explore. You talked about the level of PKTT investigation. And my question is, why did you need the analysts from the PKTT? Could you not get them from, say, Cape Town or within Gauteng or the Free State or Mpumalanga? Why did they specifically have to come from the PKTT?
Thank you, Commissioner. The main reason is we have seen what we have achieved within the PKTT. We will receive an expert from their respective units. Yes, there will be experts, but there will be lots of other areas that will have to work on to make them, to improve on their fields of expertise. The first one being, in the PKTT, we prioritize accountability at all levels, that you have to account for whatever that you are doing, which is normally lacking at unit or station level. And also, the other difference is, as specialists are operating within their fields, they only see themselves and what they have to do. There is no link where you link the different aspects, so as then they can give you the desired results. And maybe to add, the other reason is the turnaround time of whatever that is happening in the PKTT. We have made it such that it's far much better than the normal SAPS units or stations are operating.
Thank you, Commissioner. Can you give us a practical example of this turnaround time that you refer to? What would be the difference in the PKTT versus what you say is not the same in the normal SAPS units?
Yeah, maybe so as I don't make the work of the Commission difficult, I'll quote on one of the evidence that has been led here, which is the ballistic analysis. We put it such that the ballistic experts must understand that he or she is playing a supportive role of the investigation. The more time you spend on producing the report, you are delaying the investigator. So now, because each and every investigation has got a plan, so the physical worker, the investigating officer, would not want then to miss the targets and the timelines because of a particular specialist that is bringing his or her own turnaround time. I will say where we saw it working for us was or is the ballistic analysis. The reason why we normally use it is, in our report we were flagging on ad hoc cases that will be generated from the intelligence-driven operations where we're looking for firearms. So in most cases, those operations will be on Fridays during the proper time, but on Fridays. So because we will be having a target that we have intelligence that is in possession of a firearm that was used in a particular case. So the work of a ballistic expert will start Friday midnight or Friday or Saturday morning when we come back with that firearm. The target is by Monday when we go to court to enroll the possession of unlicensed firearm. It's already linked with a main case that we're investigating. But all the turnaround times are made shorter because they have to fit the investigation plan, whether it's called data analyst. If the request by the investigating team to the call data analyst is to quickly analyze the movement using the towers, that will be given then a shorter turnaround time because it has to allow the taskings and the responsibility of the investigator to continue so as then the investigation plan is not delayed because of the expert. So it's one of the reasons why we had to tap on the tried and tested personnel from the PKTT. Our timeline, although it's not included in my affidavit, but if we look at the time the experts joined the GCI Ops, which was the 19th of November, and with a quick briefing for them to understand, and thereafter they move separate ways to start doing what is relevant to their different fields, and they bring it back. And then by the 6th of December, we were ready for the takedown of the first target, which is roughly 2 weeks from the 19th to the 6th. That's another example.
So that's 19 November 2024 that these 10 members were seconded to GCI Ops and they began their work immediately.
Yes.
And you say they were recruited specifically for their expertise.
Yes.
And you couldn't obtain that kind of expertise in Gauteng through the normal units. You've explained that.
Yeah, it's not, thank you, Commissioner, it's not that we could not. The expertise and experts are there, but the way of operating, starting from the attitude towards your work, which is more about, because I think I indicated previously that the way of the methodology in the PKTT it's different from the normal SAPS way of doing things. Every day there are accounting sessions, every day. When you go out, maybe let me start by, you don't go out to do what you think and feel needs to be done. A day before, the team will sit, and then the operational analyst who's having all the information in front will then give the direction, which will give rise to the taskings that the investigation team must go and obtain statement from A and B. And the statement must contain these. And then when that comes, then the team will sit again to account and verify the feedback, whether it's talking to the. So we wanted, because we could see, as I've said, they were, because this now was a different operation with a counterintelligence investigation, as I reflected that one of the objectives of counterintelligence is to neutralize the threat. So you cannot then leave the threat being there for ages. So the quicker you neutralize the threat, then the quicker then the level of risk is going down, because there are lots of logistics that are put in place to make sure that the investigation and investigators are protected. So for us to achieve that, we undermined the experts that are all over the country, but we thought that we rather opt for the ready-made group that is suitable for what we have on hand.
General, why can't the mode of operation of the PKTT be replicated throughout the country? If at the end of the Commission's life, that is in terms of the testimony led before it, we are satisfied that indeed the PKTT works better than the rest of SAPS. This is a question we may have to answer. That is, why can't that mode of operation be replicated throughout the country?
Thank you, Commissioner. In all our reports, that is included as one of the recommendations to the powers that be, that we recommend that this methodology is used as a benchmark to try and change the way we are investigating crime, because our traditional way, it's still suitable for normal crime. The assault commons, the assault GPH, but then when it comes to organized crime, the same traditional ways are not applicable. So we will recommend that with all our reports. There's been attempts, Commissioner, if I may divert from my affidavit, there's been attempt. There was a time, a year, where all provinces were requested to send a minimum of 6 members of SAPS to come and sit with the PKTT and learn. So we will have classes at night, and then during the day, we send them out with the teams for practicals. And it was a successful intervention or attempt. The problem started then when they had to go back and implement, because now those that are expected to implement or supervise the implementation were not understanding. You have trained 6 members from Limpopo. When they get back home to their commanders, they are going back to the old ways. Hence, then the second attempt was with Western Cape, where the National Commissioner instructed that the Provincial Commissioner himself be part of the team that will go and learn. One can say that showed some positive results because now the man in charge of the province has got that understanding to implement. So hence then we believe that this model of PKTT can be used as a transition from the normal or traditional way of investigating to this one that is suitable for the problems that we are facing as a country at this moment. We look at, there was a time when I think I had a session with the crime scene experts. Then the first question of the PKTT, the first question I asked as to how many are you countrywide? They gave me the number that is almost 2 times more than the police stations that we have. Then I said, then why then you have your units somewhere instead of having each station allocated the expert that. So as we move, the second most important investigative aid that we will need to prioritize is called data analysis. Almost everybody is having gadgets nowadays, and the way it helps in terms of investigation and also fast tracking. So in trying to answer your question, Commissioner, I was very long, but I was trying to show that there's been attempts, but it won't be the first time that the PKTT model is recommended. The periodical reports to the National Commissioner, we will include that recommendation even when we have to submit the report to the interministerial or even the Ministry of Police. We will include that recommendation. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the initiative of Western Cape team led by the Provincial Commissioner was recommended by the ministry when then that report was tabled.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So you would have made the recommendation to the Minister, to the National Commissioner, as well as other ministers within the Interministerial Committee that was having oversight of the PKTT.
Yes, Commissioner.
So that was a small diversion. Let's return to where we were, the secondment of the team, and particularly because of the importance of the working method of this team that led to the arrest of Mr. Molefe on the 6th. And that brings you to paragraph 107 of your statement. Now, General, you'll see that the next few pages, all the way up to paragraph 124, describes the events that took place on the 6th of December when Mr. Molefe was being arrested, or what you call in Hollywood style, takedown. So that's what these paragraphs describe, the takedown of Mr. Molefe. Now, we've heard from quite a number of witnesses already. The Commission has heard from many witnesses, witness A, B, C, Captain Wanda, Captain Kruger, a range of people right until yesterday. So that's been detailed for the Commission, the details of all of those events. I don't think it's necessary for us to go through these paragraphs in detail. However, I would like you to explain some things for the Commission, including why you describe these events as interference. And I just want to begin by asking you whether you had overall coordination of this operation that was taking place on 6 December.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. Maybe to give a little bit of background to the part that the Senior Counsel is directing me to talk to, I'll link it with my last statement that said when the experts were brought in from the 19th of November, and then by the 6th of December, we were ready for the first takedown. And then the investigation with the assistance of all these experts made it possible for us to obtain the warrant of arrest of Mr. Katiso Mlife on the 5th of December. That's when then we had to start preparing for the takedown or the arresting of Mlife the following day. Then, which was then on the 6th of December. So what we did, because within, as I've said, this is a GCI Ops, which has got a lot of intelligence activities within. So there are continuous threat and risk assessments that are done, even when you plan for the takedowns. There will be a lot of pre-activities that will take place. Hence, then, maybe before I get to the 6th, I must reflect that and remind the commissioners that we had carried also that kit.
Can I just ask where you, I mean, the members will go into the ins and outs of this thing. So just so that we locate you in the right timeline, you became acting CFO after basically became acting CFO when these guys that were here were busy with their work or they were somewhere there.
Yes, I think subsequent to, I think they issued their first report on the 24th of May, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously subsequent to that, I became acting. But I did deal with them directly in the process of this particular review whilst they were performing the review.
Okay, tell me, so did you interact with the guys we spoke to before, Mora Incorporated?
Yes, Jay, I did.
So they told us that they were asked to withdraw a portion of the report that they'd submitted. And they gave us a name of who did that. So I'm asking this question cautiously. Do you know why they were asked to withdraw it? I mean, they did all of this work. When we looked at it as lay people, they appeared to have taken a cautious approach, which, had it been followed, you and I and the committee would not be discussing this issue at all. It would be history. Do you have any insight in terms of why they were asked to then withdraw?
So, Chair, CFO, there was another individual in the particular role, but my understanding certainly of the request for withdrawal was that the intention behind the request was never for the firm to provide an opinion, but rather to provide a review of a decision that had already been made.
All right. Do you know if it was the same RFQ that these guys were talking to here? Do you know that?
No, Chair, it was a different one. So generally on an annual basis, and we still do that to this day, on an annual basis we would, through the panel of internal auditors, so essentially it becomes the work of internal audit, perform a high-level review of the annual financial statements to ensure compliance with the GRAP reporting framework. So it's an annual engagement, and that would not have been the same as what PwC was appointed to do.
I will follow you.
I,
Dr. Sheila Polibushielo,
solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that the evidence that I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So I do.
So I do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wishielo, SP. SC, I'm handing over the reins to you. All the best.
Thank you.
Then it shall be until 13 hours. Unless you finish before that time, you will get directive from the chair.
Thank you. I've got no conflicts of interest to declare. Good morning, Dr. Poshielo, and thank you for your attendance today and your cooperation with us when we consulted with you about your sworn statement. You are currently the Deputy Minister of Police, having been appointed by the President on the 2nd of July 2024. Is that correct?
Is correct.
At the time of your appointment, that was in the new 7th administration, the GNU government, the then minister was Minister Senzo Mchunu.
Yes, sir.
So since that date and up to recently, when Minister Mchunu was placed on special leave by the President, you had assisted him in whatever functions or duties allocated to you.
Yes, sir.
Now, you are aware of what gave rise to the establishment of this ad hoc committee by the National Assembly. There were public statements made by Lieutenant General Nkwenazi on the 6th of July, making some wide-ranging allegations involving the entire criminal justice system, and especially in the police. And you are here to assist us in trying to get to the bottom of it. But as you should know, try and stick just to what you know, what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've said. So as we go along today, if you can stick to that, that will be most helpful to you also.
Will do, sir.
Thank you. Now, if I may just start off with your own experience in public office. You have served both at the province, as the chairperson had pointed out, in Limpopo, and you had also served here as a member of parliament. So just take us briefly. You deal with that from paragraphs 8 onwards in your statement.
Thank you very much, sir, and good morning to members. In terms of my experience in Limpopo, I've served as a speaker of Limpopo legislature from 2015, after being a member here from May 2014. And after that, I was appointed, during the elections of 2019, I was appointed as the MEC for Education. And after that, I was appointed as the MEC for Transport and Community Safety. And then after that, I was appointed as the portfolio chair of women, children, and people with disability. And then until here, where we are today, where I'm serving as Deputy Minister of Police. Thank you, sir.
So in your capacity as MEC for Community Safety, you would have interacted with the police, both the police in the province and also national police.
Indeed, sir, because community and safety means, the police, working with the police and the civilian secretariat. So yes, from time to time, we'll deal with the issue of police as the MEC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You also have quite an impressive array of academic qualifications, which you set out at paragraph 15 of your sworn statement.
Yes, sir. I did my 3-year diploma in transport with the University of Rau then. I have a Bachelor of Degree BCom, 2 Masters MBA and Masters in Transport Studies from University of Cape Town, and I have a Doctorate of Administration from University of Limpopo. And then if you look at our next chart, SPB1, you can also see other qualifications that I have. So all in all, I think there are 31. Thank you, sir.
Okay. No, thank you. Now, you would have been assigned some roles and responsibilities by Minister Mkhunu, and more recently Acting Minister Kachalia. He was appointed only in August, so it's just been a few months. Perhaps describe to us the kind of roles and responsibilities assigned to you. In terms of the Constitution, you are appointed to assist the Minister of Police. So just take us through in which areas you assist the Minister.
Thank you very much, sir. Maybe let me start it the other way around, as we said it, because I know there were debates whether we need deputy ministers or not. Thank you. In terms of deputy ministers, yes,
Started the
we are,
other way around,
appointed in
as
terms
we
of the
said it.
Constitution 93A, as you said, and the president can appoint as much as he could. But looking at the responsibility, it will depend whether you need 1, 3, or 5 deputy ministers. So in terms of my responsibilities as the deputy minister, we get our powers in terms of section 93.2, where we account to Parliament about the work that we are supposed to do, and also assisting the minister to do the work that he will give us from time to time. Although the minister have not delegated, Minister Mkhunu, let me be clear so that I do not confuse which minister, delegated to us functions in writing, but from time to time would assist him to be able to do the work. And I will take you through that if we do not mind. But also I want to say, although the minister, I'm on number 80, although the minister have not penned down the delegated functions yet, there has been functions that we were able to deal with them arising from also our responsibility of accounting to this Parliament in terms of 93.2. And on 19, in terms of us, the deputy minister, I did not possess any independent executive or operational authority, but accordingly, the deputy minister's primary responsibility is to support the minister in the development and implementation of policy, oversight functions, and strategic alignment across the policing sector. So the minister will be the one who determines the scope and the role of a deputy minister, which he did. But also, as the deputy minister, I account to Parliament and serve in the following portfolio committees. I serve in the Portfolio Committee of Police. I see my chairperson is there. I also serve in the Select Committee of Safety and Security in the NCOP. Also, I serve in the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence, JSCI. And also, as the ministry, we sometimes have joint meeting with other portfolio committees. 2 weeks ago, I was representing our department with the Portfolio Committee on Health with SARS, discussing illicit tobaccos. And then tomorrow, I'm representing our department and meeting the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement to be able to do that. And also, as a deputy minister, I serve in the following cabinet committees: Justice, Crime, Prevention and Security, JCPS. I serve in the Economic Sector Investment, Employment and Infrastructure Development, ESIT, and also serve in the All Joint Cabinet Committee and Cluster Meeting. I also serve as a District Development Model DDM champion of Nkangala District Municipality in Mpumalanga, but I also am appointed to serve in the following inter-ministerial committees: IMC, the first one, Extended Ministerial Multidisciplinary Committee responsible for foodborne illness and illicit trade. And number 2, Interministerial Committee on the preparation for the 2026-27 local government elections. In terms of the police, maybe let me give you the setup of how big the police department is. The department consists of the South African Police Service, the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, DPCI, which we call it the Hawks,
Yes.
and also 3 entities: the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID, the Civilian Secretariat Police for Police Services, CSPS, and the Private Security Industry Regulation, CERA. As part of the ministry, we account to the parliamentary committees through tabling of strategic plans, budget and expenditure, annual performance plans, quarterly reports, annual reports of all of the SAPS, the DPCI, and the 3 entities. So prior to attending the parliamentary committee meetings, the ministry, together with the national commissioner, the national head of the Hawks, and the heads of the entities and their top management, we meet and prepare the report as per the agenda of the meeting that we are going to attend. As such, the role of the Deputy Minister, while constitutionally accountable to Parliament, can more appropriately be defined as a layer of strategic support without independent executive powers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. And I also understand that more specific tasks or functions had been allocated to you, for example, to assess the state of gender-based violence across the country. Just talk to us a bit about that.
Thank you very much, sir. The other thing I forgot to say, the role also of the deputy ministers. If you remember, the minister, when he was put on leave, it was 3 days before we had to table our budget in the NCOP. So together with Deputy Matali, we were able to do 3 statements. Because normally we'll share the entities, the 3 entities, the DPCI, and then give the minister the SAPS. So we had done for the entities, then we had to do also for the SAPS because it was the last day, and if we have not done that as deputy ministers, we would have not having a budget by now. So the acting minister, Minister Mantashe, was appointed in the afternoon of the day before the tabling of the budget. So, but we had prepared it and give it to him. And when we went to the NCOP, we said to him, he must just read it, and where we have to come in, we will come in. And indeed, we had our budget passed in that. So that is also the other role of the deputy ministers that people might not be able to understand. Coming to your current question, when the acting minister, Professor Firoz Kachalia, was appointed, we sat together and then we took him through what we were doing and that we were not allocated responsibilities then. So after a week, he then called us and then he then allocated us responsibilities for now, and he said we'll go on. So for now, I've been allocated to deal with the GBVF and all the infrastructure and everything related to it, and he assured also the support for me in order to be able to do that. He also delegated to me to deal with the integrated crime and violence prevention strategy and see whether it is working or need to be changed, and if it needs to be changed, to be able to do that. The third one, if you have read my doctorate, I am specialized in technology. Actually, my topic is factors that impact on e-government services in government. And fortunately, I chose the Department of Transport and Community Safety as if I knew I was going to be the Deputy Minister. So in our department, we're very backward in terms of technology. So he sent me to China with the delegation. I just have the name here. Major General Jessica from DCPI, because we wanted to be able to check in terms of technology in all the sectors, what we have and what we don't have. We also have Major General Mabuela from the DCPI, we had two. And you will understand why, because they are dealing with organized crimes and crimes that are really what this committee wants us to deal with. And Brigadier Dubazani, who's dealing with technology management services in the SAPS, and then Brigadier Mtleni, who's dealing with port security, and it's mainly based at the OSHIA, the OR Tambo, and Brigadier Haint, who's the Human Resource Development. And also, I had to present a paper to that international forum in terms of the technology and how we can use it to be able to deal with the issue of crime. And Interpol also was part. Remember, they had their conference here, and then they were part there, and then we were able to share that the crime we have changed is in terms of your cyber crimes and others. So how do we assist each other to be able to do that? So those are some of the responsibilities that the minister have given us. And after coming back, we had a meeting where I reported to him, because also in China, I met the minister of police, just that they call it security, others in China. So I met him, and then I said to him, we would want to partner in terms of the technology, because they took the heads of delegations to see the technology that is used by police there. And it's very advanced. That's why you don't have crime, almost no crime in China, even when they have a population of about 2 billion. So they use the technology to be able to do that. So when I came back, we sat down with minister and the deputy minister, and then we gave reports. And then I suggested that the memorandum that we had spoke about training of detectives. So we need to include the technology part, because when you deal with technology, you can't just advertise it like a tender for catering, because it needs to be secured and make sure that it can be hacked and all those other things. I don't want to bore you with technical things of technology. So we gave a report to him, and then he accepted the report, and then we are going to write a report to the president to be able to suggest that we amend the memorandum to include technology. So it's very supportive and allow us space to do our work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Boshelo. Sounds like you've been very busy. It's almost, exhausting to hear you.
My only day that is, I can show you my diary. Yeah. It's like this diary. So my only day that is free is normally Sundays. Thank you.
And it also sounds like the approach of the acting minister is somewhat different to Minister Mkhunu.
Of course, it's different human beings. Surely you'll expect them that they will have different leadership styles.
Now, talking about Minister Mkhunu, of course, this inquiry is mainly about the political killings task team, and on the 31st of December 2024, Minister Mkhunu issued that directive. So just to park it there, did you know about it? Were you informed about it? When did you learn about it? So just discuss that.
Thank you very much, sir. I became aware of the minister's letter and directive, which was issued on the 31st of December 2024, while it was circulating in the social media. And I assumed it was fake until when the minister called me in the early January, around 6-7, to inform me that the letter that was circulating was not fake. He wrote it himself. I thanked him for clarifying the status of the letter, and the minister further confirmed before this committee that he is the author of that letter.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
So what was your reaction when you, did you see the entire letter, which is SP2 to your statement? Did you see the entire letter on social media, or was it sent to you? Did you receive it? When did you first see it?
No, I didn't. It was not sent to me. If you can look at the letter, there's no CC deputy ministers or CC whatever. It was just a letter addressed to the national commissioner by the minister. So it was not sent to me. As I said, I saw it in the social media, and I just thought it was a fake letter. So until the minister, called me and said it is not fake, he wrote the letter. In terms of how I felt, I was a little bit disappointed that I thought we were working together, and before you could take out the letter, I've read all the letter, all of it. And I thought it could have, as deputy ministers, maybe, discussed it with us, but maybe as the executive authority, he felt that he didn't want to discuss it with me. But I was disappointed, yes.
And you expressed no view on his authority to issue such a directive or the lawfulness of the letter?
As I said, maybe because he's a executive authority, he used that to do that, and I think he had powers to issue the letter, and he used it accordingly.
Mm-hmm. And subsequent to, before I move on that aspect, there was a meeting on the 21st of November between you, Deputy Minister Matali, and Minister Nkunu, where the political killing stars team was referenced. Do you remember that meeting?
Yes, I remember the meeting, but it was not discussed like in full. It was just in passing. Remember, I did not even know what their operations are and what are they doing, because we were still busy calling different sections to brief us, including the entities. So I did not necessarily know about it, and we did not discuss it in details.
Did you know, or were you aware of the interministerial committee that was established by the President in May 2018, and where the Minister of Police played a prominent role?
Yes, I saw it when it was presented in the Portfolio Committee of the 5th of March by General Khumalo, when he took us through the background and why it was formed and the successes.
So was that's the 5th of March this year, 2025?
Yes.
So prior to that, you weren't aware of the interministerial committee?
No.
And you obviously never attended any of those meetings?
No, sir.
Because sometimes the minister can't attend and one of the deputies would stand in.
No, sir. The only time that we discussed about it shortly, it was when we were dealing with the organizational structure, and then saying in terms of the matters that we see increasing, how best can we be able to come out with a strategy or a structure a permanent structure to deal with this. So that was the only one. So I never attended any meeting of the PTY or the IMC.
Now, just looking at the letter of the 31st of December, 31 December, SB2, you'll see it deals with 3 items, 3 categories: filling of posts in the intelligence division, ports of entry, and then the political killings task team. Have you got any views on whether these 3 areas or any one of the 3 areas falls within the executive authority or should fall under the operational authority of the National Commissioner?
My understanding of the work of government since I've been here and also been an official up until a chief director level and then executive also in a parastatal, is that in terms of the accounting officer and the executive authority, they are interfaced and they are expected to work together. So the executive authority will deal with strategic issues from cabinet, from parliament and others, and then the accounting officer will deal with the implementation in terms of that. So my understanding is that the 2 should have met and be able to discuss issues that were raised in that letter rather than start writing letters to each other. And to say also they were together, we're doing the operation of the safer security, so they should have discussed it because I think they said they were together until the 28th of December where they attended a funeral of one police officer. In terms of the filling, the other one I think of the PKTT I've answered. In terms of the filling of posts in the intelligence division, the minister halted the filling of posts immediately until substantive discussions between himself and the National Commissioner take place. I thought the minister should have provided reasons to the National Commissioner why the process should be halted and what he expects him to bring when they meet so that they can unblock whatever was there and then move over. In terms of the ports of entry, in relation to this matter, the minister's directive were reasonable because it gave sufficient time to the National Commissioner to prepare a comprehensive report at the end of January 2025. So the concerns of the ministers were also clear in the letter. So that will be my take on the letter in terms of the items there. Thank you.
So essentially, you would have dealt with this in a much more consultative, collaborative way.
That's how we should be able to work together, because when the president appoint a minister and also appoint the head of institution at the national level, these 2 offices must be able to work together. There's no way in which they cannot work together. Unfortunately, it just depends on the leadership style of the people that have to be. And sometimes you need to compromise and understand that it's not personal, but it's about the work that needs to be done. So there is an interface between the 2 offices. They can't work without each other.
Now, you after the minister called you in early January to confirm that that was his directive and he drafted it, he wrote it, were there any further exchanges or interactions or meetings with the minister in relation to this, especially the political killings task team issue?
No, but the problem or the issue with the letter is that it was already sent to the National Commissioner, and it was addressed only to the National Commissioner. So if he had sought, inputs from me as the Deputy Minister, I should have done. So it was no use for me to even ask to do some input because the letter was out already, and he confirmed that it is not a fake letter. So I did not and had the opportunity to do that.
And then it was an online meeting, the one on the 5th of March before the Police Portfolio Committee. So you were in that meeting, and you also heard Lieutenant General Kumalo make a presentation about the political killings task team.
Yes, sir, I was in the meeting, and I must confess that it was the first time I had a full report of what the task team was all about, its successes, its budgets, and what it's doing. Yes, I was in that meeting.
What impression did you get from hearing the presentation?
Let me not say anything because it's a crime intelligence issue. But if the commission want me to write what I think should be done, I will do.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And then you also heard Lieutenant General Mkonazi express some strong views in that meeting, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And what was your reaction to that?
I was very surprised because I must say to you, coming to the SAPS, including the entities, I work very well with everybody. From the National Commissioner, actually some of the issues, the dates and everything that I did not remember very well, the National Commissioner was the one assisting me. So I work with the National Commissioner, and some of the responsibilities that I do, you know, we work together, or he will ask me if the minister is not available. The case in point is when we were dealing with the 3 officers from Bloemfontein that were taken by the water in the Hanover, in Pretoria. If you have seen, we were there with the family because the National Commissioner called me, said, DM, where are you? I said, I'm around in Pretoria. He said, the family is here. Can you come and assist me? And then we went there. Yes, it was a painful thing, but I was with him. And I asked him, because everybody was crying, and he was like strong. And I said, you know, you are very strong. And why? He said, no, one of us have to think about what is happening. So we worked together very well. And we buried them, we were together, we did the memorial, we were together. The Deputy National Commissioners also, and the acting work together, the Divisional Commissioners work together, Executive Director of IPIT work together very well, and then the DG of the Civilian Secretariat, and also the CEO of CIRA and everybody. So in terms of working with the management, including the provincial commissioners, they would have even programs now and ask the National Commissioner to send me. Recently, in 2 weeks, I was in Mpumalanga, Elukwatini, having a Mbizo there with the chief and other things. And then I was also in Tlatlaganyani in the northwest, dealing with Samazama issues, and the National Commissioner and the provincial commissioners were working together. So when General Mkwanazi said those things in the meeting, I was a little bit surprised because we had meetings and he didn't raise those things in the meetings that we will normally have as subs. Thank you, sir.
And then on the 6th of July, we even more surprised when there was a media briefing by Lieutenant General Mkonazi.
Yes, sir. I was surprised. Actually, I didn't even see it until somebody phoned me and said, what is happening? Are you watching TV? And I said, no, I like reading more than watching TV. He said, no, I'm reading. And then he said, watch the TV. And then when I switch on the TV, there I see General Mukwanas, and I was surprised. Yes.
Did Minister Mkhunu speak to you about what Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi said on the 6th of July subsequently?
No, sir, but we had a meeting. I think the National Commissioner said it, and I think also the Minister said it. We had a meeting, the four of us, the two Deputy Ministers, the Minister and the National Commissioner. We as Deputy Ministers, let me talk about myself. As Deputy Minister, we raised a concern to say we think the Minister and the National Commissioner are not talking as much as they should, and as a result, it frustrates us and also frustrate other senior managers. And we ask them to sit down and sort whatever it is so that we can be able to work. And indeed, they took our advice. But also we raised another concern that we're observing, that they also need to meet with DNC Sibia and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, and then sort everything out so that we can be able to work together. And I think they met. They met with the National Commission, the Minister and the National Commissioner, and also DNC Sibia and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, because if you remember in that statement of the 6th, he said they met, but he doesn't work with criminals, something like that. But it means the meeting takes place because as leaders we could see there was a problem, it was going to affect us. Thank you.
Okay. It is not attached to your statement, but in our consultation, we showed you a WhatsApp message that was sent to you, so you can confirm receiving it from General Sabia, Lieutenant General Sabia, on the 16th of October. It just says, "Good afternoon, DM." So one wasn't sure whether it's a reference to Deputy Minister Matali or to yourself. Was that a reference to you?
Yes, sir.
So this is about the crime intelligence procurement of new spyware equipment. So just talk to us about this WhatsApp that you received, and what was your reaction? What did you do about it?
Thank you very much, sir. I received, it was forwarded, this WhatsApp from DNC Sibia on the 16th of October to me, talking about, should I read it or just say, talking about what the procurement of the spy equipment of 30 million, and that the minister did not approve it, and also the National Commissioner. So it was forwarded at that time. I did not comment. Oh, the comments that DNC Sibia wrote was the first one. He said, DM should take note of the above exercise and exercise vigilance with any type of electronic communication, such as cell phones, emails, etc. So it was like they are buying this equipment to back me. And the second one, he said, Mr. Matebula has also been briefed in terms of ANC leadership. Mr. Matebula is the head of security of the African National Congress. Both WhatsApp were forwarded, not necessarily from him. Then he forwarded another one, because I didn't respond firstly. He forwarded another one which says, my suggestion that we should commit the National Commissioner to this. He needs to come out and say whether he knows about it or not. He must also investigate, and if yes, why was the minister not informed? And I must say, SC, that the reason why I didn't respond is because you know that ministers don't deal with procurement issues. It's the National Commissioner as the accounting officer that deal with a procurement issue. So I didn't respond to it because I didn't believe that a person of that caliber, the DNC, doesn't know the difference that between the accounting officer and the executive of authority in terms of the SCM issues. But then, because I was a little bit worried, I forwarded on the same day the two to the National Commissioner. And the National Commissioner phoned me and said, DM, this is not true. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to investigate this and give you a report. Indeed, he investigated the matter, and then he involved the neutral intelligence, NICOC, and then SSA, and then he then sent me a message to say he has investigated it and dealt with it, and I was fine with it.
And subsequent to that, you didn't receive any further WhatsApp messages from General Sabia?
I did not, because I also informed him that I'm sending all these messages to the National Commissioner.
But why do you think he forwarded this WhatsApp to you, or these WhatsApps to you?
I would not know, but like I said, the first message was that DM, be careful of your electronics and whatever. And to tell you the truth, I'm saying the way we're working together, I never thought in my life that the National Commissioner and his team would want to back my telephones and emails or any other thing.
And of course, it's not a... Sorry.
May we take Honorable Nomvalo and Honorable Skosan? Okay, Honorable Nomvalo.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I just need some clarification. DM, did the National Commissioner share with you the outcomes of the investigation when he said to you, I have investigated the matter? Did it end there, or he went further to say, I investigated it and these are the outcomes?
Chair, I know the rules. I can't go on without you giving me the permission.
I forgot that you were my speaker at the legislature. Okay, Honorable DM, you may respond.
Thank you very much. Yes, he responded and said the softwares were not bought, and there was nothing like that. And then he said to me the matter was closed. Yes, he came to me.
See, we may proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Chair. Honourable Deputy Minister, so it sounds to me, and just for your comment, that although it wasn't, when one often gets a message, you'll see forwarded. So it's not from that person originally, it's from someone else who had forwarded a message. And sometimes it says forwarded many times, that you can't even forward it to someone else because it's sort of exhausted. But was it do you think it was a mischief making on the part of General Sabia to forward what appears to be quite a provocative WhatsApp to you?
To tell you the truth, I did not want to believe that, because Remember, I just came in. I did not know him. So I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Actually, can I read what the National Commissioner responded? Also, it will be assisting
Yeah, please
the
do.
member
Thank
there.
you.
Okay, thank you. The National Commissioner responded and said, even in DM, the circulating messages about the CI having procured a spire wire over the weekend by DIFCOM and CFO, it refers. That's the one I did. I sent it to him. These officers were already out of office last weekend. If ever there is such, it would have been procured by those who were out of the country, which is none of the above. Somebody wants to find a reason to arrest them again. Let's not fall into this trap. I can, however, ask the matter to be investigated by NICOC or DI, somebody neutral, but I need detailed briefing by the source. Thanks.
So certainly according to...
I'm sorry.
You minute.
As I was saying, so I wanted to give the DNs, because I did not know him, I met him there. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and not rush into judging him. Thank you.
Okay. Then just coming to...
SC, may we take Honorable Sangwan?
Sorry, SC, I know you don't like to be interrupted. Sorry. No, I just need clarity on the good morning, Honorable Deputy Minister. Clarity in the response, maybe we can be furnished with that response from the National Commissioner. But did you say that he's saying that they are trying to get the DIVCOM CFO arrested again? Is this the CFO that was arrested with Lieutenant General Kumalo?
Yes, remember he was talking about the CI. The CI is the crime intelligence, yes.
So it would be the people who were arrested with,
yes.
okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Advocate.
Thank you, and thank you, Honourable Member Sangoni, for that, seeking that clarity. So just to conclude on that there seemed to be some ulterior, sinister motive behind copying you this WhatsApp.
So I'm still saying, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't know him very well. So, yeah.
So, Deputy Minister, just in terms of some concluding...
Sorry,
sorry?
Yeah, just for the record, I never also discussed these messages with him, with the DNCCB. I only forwarded to the National Commissioner and got response from the National Commissioner. Just for the record, I never discussed these messages.
And I think just for the record, the way you dealt with this was entirely proper and correct, that you wouldn't get embroiled in matters of this nature. I think your evidence was that this was in any case beyond your sort of job description, and certainly the Minister wouldn't become involved in matters of this nature.
Yes, sir.
Can we just deal with some comments you make in your concluding remarks? From paragraph 48 onwards. Do you want to comment, make some comments there?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. In terms of my thinking is that, I don't know, I know other people don't think this ad hoc committee is not important, but for me, it is very important, and I'm stating the reason why I think it is relevant and important. I think the work of this ad hoc committee must lead to a SAPS that is not only effective, but is trusted. And based on the evidence that have been presented before you, by the Minister, the National Commissioner, the DNC, and the Provincial Commissioner. I believe that trust will be built on 3 pillars. The first one being the pillar of lawful process, where the roles of the executive, the accounting officers, and bodies like the IMCs are understood, respected, and not circumvented. And also the second one, the pillar of internal accountability, where decisions are made transparently within the ministry, utilizing the full capacity of deputy ministers. And the third one, the pillar of external oversight, where bodies like the IPIT and Parliament itself, including the portfolio committees and the standing committees itself, are empowered to hold the police accountable without fear or favor. The allegations that brought us here, SC, are a symptom of the failure of these pillars. That is according to me. And your recommendations as this ad hoc committee can be the blueprint for the revitalization and restoration of SAPS. And let us ensure that the outcome of this process is a police service that commands public trust, because we have a deficit in that regard, and respect, which will follow when the SAPS itself consistently demonstrate respect for the Constitution, rule of law, and the people it serves. Furthermore, restoring public confidence and trust in SAPS will require vigorous interventions to promote principled leadership and strict adherence to constitutional and procedural governance. As you know, SC, in terms of the priorities of this government, we fall in the third one, where we want to build a capable, ethical, and a democratic leadership. So the events surrounding the disbandment of the PKTT serve as a case study on how not to manage a critical national institution. Maybe I'm an academic, that's why I'm writing like that.
You're writing a thesis now.
We must do better to uphold the constitutional governance of the SAPS. It seems constructive consultation between the executive and the accounting officer and respect of the mandates of cross-departmental structures like the IMC must be. Therefore, there is an urgent need to implement also digital docket management, body cameras, and data-driven policing to reduce opportunities for interference and increase public accountability. Remember our mandate in terms of 205 in the Constitution is about really the safety of our community, but also protecting the sovereignty of our country. So this committee's work is a pivotal opportunity to reaffirm these principles. I always say you'll be able to assist us to reset the button. I trust your recommendation will guide us towards a police service that is both effective in its duties and truly accountable to the people of South Africa. The people of South Africa need SAPS which can tackle corruption without fear or favor, protect whistleblowers, and ensure that oversight bodies like IPIT are truly independent, even if they get their allocation from, SAPS. They need to be independent. And police must work hand in hand with communities, restoring confidence through visibility, respect, and cooperation. And lastly, the modernization of the systems, embracing technology, and rewarding excellence that we normally would not do will go a long way to foster a police service that is not only effective, but also trusted by all South Africans. That's why I think this ad hoc committee is relevant and is important, and I'm happy that it has been reconstituted. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. Thank you for your cooperation once again, your contribution, your insights, and your very sound advice and views on the way forward. Thank you very much, Honourable Chair, Honourable members of the committee. That concludes our part of the evidence. Thank you.
I want to thank the two of you very much, the SC and the Honourable Deputy Minister, because this is the record time that we...
And I think it's our first female witness.
It's the record
Maybe
time
we should
that
have more.
we could ever conclude a statement. Honourable Matthews.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just a clarity question. Dr. DM, I missed the name of who is the head of the ANC security, head of ANC, what is it? Your security portfolio in the ANC?
Honourable Dr. Bushielo.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Is Mr. Matebula. Chair.
Honourable Matthews, can I get your signal? Are you fine? Thank you. Okay. It's 12:15 now. And I think we can take 2 or 3 speakers before we go for a break. And today, a full member is allocated 20 minutes or less. No 1 hour today. And if you have nothing to say, you just say nothing to say. And then we pass. Yeah. So it's now 16 minutes past 12. We are going to start at 20 past 12, just for you to drink water. So we are going to take 2 speakers before we break at 1. Honourable Sokanyile, are you ready at 20 minutes past 12? Honourable Nomvalo, are you ready at 20 to 1?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Chair, 20 minutes for full
No. Honourable Sokanyile is today a full member.
No, I'm asking time, Chair.
No, I'm coming there. Honourable Nomvalo is a full member. So I'm going to take the 2 full members. I allocate them 20 minutes each between now and 1 o'clock. When I come back from lunch, Honourable Shongwe, I will tell you how much time I allocate to an alternate member.
So,
you must lobby me. At Thank you so much. Dr. Bushielo, please drink water.